strong local leadership, and I'm happy to give a word to Said Sultanov, chairman of the board of IMG Limited, who will then moderate the Q&A next session. Yeah.
Hello. Hi, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here today. And there are a few things I just wanted today probably mention. And it's great to be at this Kazakhstan Day session. It's actually the 6th Kazakhstan Day as part of the PDAC. And it's 8th as Aurora we've been participating here. So I just wanted to kind of to say what we kind of turned as AMG over this period. And in the market, we have been for 10 years. So I just wanted to say and to kind of show what have been some of the results. So we did start off kind of as a company that's actively involved in providing the services for the mining industry. And over the 10 years, we're very fortunate to work with the best in the industry, to learn from the best in the industry. And as we kind of progressed, there are some of the projects that turned strategic in our mind. And this is where, like, I wanted to share a little bit more to you about that. So in terms of some of these projects actually quite well known to many of you, especially this Lakeside project. Lakeside project was first introduced over here at PDAC. There was even quite a short movie made about this. And I'm glad to share that as of this year, recently, which the information was officially published, that First Quantum has entered into an earning agreement. So that is going to be an exciting project in Northern Balkans for exploring the... Sorry. Anyways. I don't think it's... So, maybe it's actually good. Because it's some of that information which is it's quite new for the market. And in this sense, as ANG, we have been involved in the copper space. So it's copper porphyry with Lakeside, sediment-hosted copper with the Denise project. And in terms of the Besiktas, that's a VMS type of copper. Will it work?
It's coming.
So, being 10 years, let's say, in this providing the services for each of these projects, we kind of have been aligned with the projects in terms of that. Tag and being nervous, yes. So by providing the services to these projects, we got to that level that we think that it's going to lead to multiple discoveries. Multiple discoveries as we use, let's say, now we're back on the solving towns. What they can, So this is essentially the portfolio of these projects, which I'll like to say that AMG is part of. So it's Lakeside, Tunis, the Besiktas, and the new one that's coming in, the Globe Mine Resources. It's in the gold space, but these are projects all across Kazakhstan, and these are the details of them. And in terms of technical stuff, our chief geologist is going to come in and present. But in terms of the ANG today, as being the holding company, so what is it really about? So there are two companies that are focused on the services. That's Aurora Minerals Group and Aurora Geophysics. On the portfolio projects, this is where we are minority shareholders in these projects. Minority shareholders, there is a clear, let's say, corporate governance separation. We don't manage these projects. We are just, let's say, it's a sweat equity. And in terms of the infrastructure, we are right now developing in Kazakhstan, let's say, a cold storage base over in Kibastus, and also a new base we're planning to launch over in Astana. And there are these exciting projects which are going to be coming in very soon. So again, this is Aurora Minerals Group, which has turned 10 years, and it's today like a service provider with a, let's say, good experience. The geophysics provider that was able to kind of work all around Kazakhstan And right now, being 10 years in the business, we're starting to consider what's our footpath in terms of what's our path for the next 10 years. And this is where we're starting to ask ourselves, are we to stay in the services? Are we to stop probably thinking in terms of converting some of our shares into the royalties? So this is the leadership team that has been with our time. We do have it's an international team. And this is where like the details of, let's say, this late site minerals project. I think, Juan, are you here? Yeah. Yeah. Perhaps you can come in here and like help me with the technical stuff about each project, because it is really late site minerals, that's the copper porphyry. Tennis, that's the sediment-hosted copper project. Our Tin Gold, that's the new project that's coming in, which is it's our interest in the gold. So Juan, how about you take over from here, from now on, and you describe the technical stuff of this presentation? Thanks. It's not this.
Not trying to break all. So good day, everyone. Thank you for coming on for the Kazakhstan day. Okay. That's why. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about the key projects that Aurora Minerals Group has, and they're all at different stage, but they're all like greenfield projects right now. So the first one is Sediment-Hosted copper, which is a Timbers project. The other one is VBS type deposit, which is a static dust project. And also the Alton project, which is hydrothermal. And the last one is the scarlet magnetite iron timber project. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Aurora Minerals Group. As Sediment mentioned, we provide, as Aurora Minerals Group, we've been on the market for 10 years and we provide different kind of services, starting from the legal license acquisition, all the geological works, not like in-house, but also we can do the field work as well. And then we do geophysics. We have a full team of geophysicists, and we provide logistic and transportation to do field work. So all of these services actually can help you out to get this success story or success case, which is the, like Said Subanov mentioned, the late site project. Each exploration project has different stages, but they all go the same way. First one is foundation. The Aurora services actually helped out to get those licenses. The next one is a technical launch, where Aurora services did all the field work, the geology, geophysics, and everything together with the others. The next stage is expansion of the licenses, where Aurora Minerals helped out with everything. And then the transaction, where we talk and negotiate with the investors, helped out with the data and everything. And then the last part is development. Right now, like Sediment mentioned, this project is in the development stage, and it's going to be a full-scale exploration project this year. So why I mentioned that? Because I wanted to show that the projects that I'm going to be presenting today, they're all sitting in a technical launch, basically stage, sorry. Because everything is acquired, everything like permits, exploration program, and everything. Right now it's in technical launch. And who knows, in a couple of years, probably it's going to be the expansion, the transaction, and the development stage. So the projects are located, the Denis project is located just close to Astana. Besiktas, located close to Balkhan city with the Alton project, and the Timur project is located between Karagümrük and Monkhach. So let's start with the first one, is the sediment-hosted cover and the Tinis project. Well, we all know about the Chusarsu Basin, which has the 22 million tons of copper, famous Chuskargan deposit, and the Tinis basically we believe that it's a northern expansion of the Chusarsu Basin, because it has, by the oil and gas there, it confirms that it has the same source rocks, same structural series, same host rocks, same access to reductant and everything, but no modern exploration. And USGS in 2010, they said that there might be a possibility of finding another geophysical deposit in Tinis Basin. So we're all land position right now. We have 9 licenses approved. The overall territory is about 2,000 square kilometers with the possibility to expand it to the north. 3 additional licenses can be exploited in that area. And the land position encompasses the highest prospectivity areas of the USGS report. So basically, we studied the old Soviet data USGS report and got the land package of the places where USGS suggested to take overall exploration program. Comparing Chusarsu Basin and Tenise Basin, they all host the same just Kazakhstan and Vladimirov. Players, the upper zoo is lacustrine muds, lower zoo is marine shales with the manifest works. So overall, if you compare it to basins, it's the same geology, same structure and everything. Some might say that they're actually in the just Kazakhstan deposit, there are no outcrops on the surface. And some might say that there might be not a big deposit in this area, but it's easy to hide an elephant. It's that a lot of mineralized zones are actually beneath the surface. So it might be the same case in the Tenise Basin because you don't have a lot of outcrops on the surface. So by studying all the detailed information, we try to generate the targets for future exploration. So these are key permeable unit breach zones, major structures, and our target zones are all located within the fracture zone, the same as fault zones, the same as in Kazakhstan deposit. Also, the geochemical data, which are all Soviet data, help us to get all the information. You got the soil samples and everything, and also that there are drill hole data with the pyrite and chalcopyrite in this area. And one interesting is that we have 1.5 million tons of near surface resources by the Sediment-Hosted. So it's one place which is located close to control and structure. So the targets are in here. Also last year we went there, and these images are from the last year's reconnaissance trip. We collected the samples, and they are all sitting on the 10-kilometer strike length. So it's pretty interesting in terms of the data that we have right now. We believe that might be another just Kazakhstan deposit in this true source from this. Another one is the VMS type deposit, which is located just 15 kilometers to the west of the Lina mine. It has just 100 kilometers from the Balkash, where it has a copper smelter. The area is covered with everything in terms of infrastructure, railroads, high voltage power lines and everything. And also interesting part, it has the airport, well, just to set an office in the Balkash field and just get to the site easily. We've got 2 licenses. In the middle of that license, there's a Tesitas deposit owned by the private company PDAC Holding, and they're planning to invest almost $100 to build the processing plant. So in the future, there might be a high demand of copper core, and we might go with these PDAC Holding just to get them the copper ore and save money on building the processing plant in this area. So why do we expect to discover additional VMS sittings? Because there is a lot of information about the cover and involved anomalies. So the high-level modular geochemistry, also ultramafic mixing hybrid system, there also IP chargeability anomaly, and there's a historical geochemical trend in this area with the addition of the tourmaline break check with the sizes of about more than 1 kilometer in the southern heart of the area. So the geophysical evidence also suggests that there might be the additional VMS sitting in this area. So you can see that the anomaly is actually located within the this is the chargeable anomaly, which is located within the licensing area. And Soviet mathematics says that there's high and lows and suggests that there might be additional VMS sitting in this area. So last year we went there, collected a couple of rock chip samples. There are not so many outcrops on the surface, so we did our best like collecting that. And we went through the portable XRF analyzer. We got the suggestion that there might be ultramafic interaction, elevated basement metals, and elevated pathfinders. And in the northern part, we got signs of elevated base metals with the elevated pathfinders, with the addition of the samples in the middle, this says that there is an oceanographic interaction, and also where the place where tourmaline reactions is it shows that the elevated path numbers. So all this information together, geophysics, geology, the reconnaissance trip suggests that there might be additional VMS setting in this period. The other interesting part is the Altan project, which is located close to Balkhash city. So you can get there easily from Almaty to Astana, just 270 kilometers from Balkhash. In terms of the infrastructure, there's everything, just surrounded with the major mines. To the Balkhash city, you have Sayak, the closest village is Sayak, which is almost 50 kilometers from Sayak and 220 kilometers from Balkhash. In terms of the geology, the license area is located within the prominent Balkhash geosyncline complexes. And the area itself has more than 12 major known copper and gold deposits, and overall limiting more than 3 million ounces of gold in this area. So the license area right now is almost 80 square kilometers. So we've studied all the geological information so far, and in terms of geology, this is the massive granite intrusion, which is covered with the volcanic sedimentary sequence in here. There are a lot of porphyry dikes in this area with the arsenic, molybdenum, copper, and gold anomalies in this area. These are all Soviet data information. So we generated a couple of target areas within the license. There are actually 2 of them located within the license, the El Dorado and Captain Morgan target. And the most interesting part is this: we have the Port Royal target, where we have artisanal miners going. There's illegal mining going on, but they're actually mining hard rock and placer gold. And these pictures are taken from the last year, so they're working using group and the illegal mining in this area. So that means they're actually going after the porphyry dikes, getting these trenches and doing it all together and collecting all these gold from this area. And this image is taken from the sample last year. So we took the sample, we sent it to the lab, ALS lab, and the results are enormous. It's almost 500 grams per ton for these samples. Also, we collected other samples as well. Some of them are showing like 4 grams per ton in this area. So in terms of geological settings, like I said, there are a lot of porphyry licks, and this place specifically, the geological setting is a dike-related mineralization, and there are some Soviet information, this all historical trenches and historical drill holes that would been done in the Soviet time, and the trench sampling shows the maximum values of these elements. So the gold is almost 12 grams per ton, whereas in the drill hole sampling it goes to up to 1 gram per ton. Drill holes are pretty shallow, from 60 to 80 meters. And they've got the preliminary resources right now for this area. It's almost 73,000 ounces of gold, with the average grade is 2.95, but it's PT, it's just below the inferred. The other one is El Dorado. We don't have any dikes in here, but it's the gold mineralization is associated with the quartz veinlets in this area. So the trenching results, they're all Soviet data. They're showing gold up to 16.6 grams per ton. Drill hole sampling the same, it goes to 2.4. And the average resource estimation right now is almost 300,000 ounces on gold. The high grade, 6.9 grams per ton in this area. We also studied other information so we can get the outside area targets outside of our licensed territory. So I'll just stop by and say that within the license, right now we have 3 target areas, with 2 of them as preliminary resource estimation, and the one with the hard rock and placer gold artisanal mining going there, and the 3 of them outside of the territory, but the possibility of extending the actual resources up to 457,000 ounces of gold in this area. So overall, the idea is to increase the land package from 80 square kilometers and get it to 350. And then you get almost 6 targets to do the exploration in this area. So the upside can go to up to 1 million ounces of gold in this potential gold deposit. The idea is to do these work this year, to do soil sampling, trenching, some geophysics, and then to start to operate with geotardits. Okay. The last one is the skarn magnetite iron ore, which is a timber project. We know that iron is not so popular as copper and gold because of the prices, but we believe that in the future it might be another big project. I just want to stop by and say that this is the skarn magnetite type iron ore mineral occurrences. It occurs along the skarns of limestone intrusion contact. What we did is that we did the magnetics a couple of years ago, and there are 2 zones, so zone 1 and zone 2. And this is the image of the outcrop. You see the massive outcrop of the zone 1. And what we did, we tried to get the resource potential of this area just to get the size. We used the geophysical data. I know this is all preliminary, but the preliminary results show you that the zone 1 has almost 18 million tons of copper with the grade between 25 and 45%. But zone 2 is huge. It almost has 995 million tons of iron ore. I know there's all the geophysical based information and it needs to do drilling in the future and, say that these numbers are certain. But for now, just to get the scale of this project, it's almost billion tons of iron ore there. So the conclusion is that we have 4 projects right now in our portfolio. They're all different: sediment-hosted, EMS type, and also gold and iron. What we wanted to do, we wanted to develop this project, doing everything step by step, doing all the geological, geophysical studies, where Aurora can do the technical lead. Whereas we're looking for investors for these projects, and they might put in kind of models to get into these projects and burn in cash in or partnership. And next steps would be to initiate the meetings, sign the NDA, get all the data, and you can study what we did. And the next one would be project funding and exploration power. So if you have more questions about this project, you can stop by the booth number 29 or 5, and I can give you more information about this project. Thank you so much.
Thanks for saying you. Anyways, now it's a great honor to invite a company out of Kazakhstan, especially is from my kind of hometown of Turlay. That's Azamat Margazinov, the CEO of Central Asia Evolve.